Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach talking all about the WWE King of the Ring 2015 finals, which will be going down live on the WWE Network, of course, April 28th, 2015. Of course, this is coming after the first round of the King of the Ring, which happened on WWE Monday Night Raw live tonight, and in shocking fashion, which honestly blew up my bracket in March Madness talk. In the first round, we had Bad News Barrett beating Dolph Ziggler due to the outside distraction caused by Sheamus coming down to the ring. Obviously, Ziggler and Sheamus still have bad blood stemming after the Kiss My Ass match at the Extreme Rules 2015. And Bad News Barrett was able to hit the bullhammer elbow, knocking out Ziggler, sending him on to the second round. From there, we also had R-Truth beating Stardust. Nothing much in that match other than the WWE Raw. Fun fact of R-Truth has won 2 matches on Monday Night Raw in 2015. One hyping up his WrestleMania 31 Intercontinental Championship match. In the latter match, he had to beat somebody, so he was able to get a win there. And then here, basically in the King of the Ring, the way they do the tournament, babyface versus heel, R-Truth had to get a win over Stardust here. I think that honestly, Stardust at this point of his little gimmick going on wasn't really going to get helped by the King of the Ring thing. I think honestly, in my mind, Stardust needs to be finding an out for this sort of joke of a gimmick that he has working for him right now. But I don't know. I wish the best for Cody Rhodes. I just don't know how the hell he's ever going to get there. R-Truth still going strong, however old he is. I know that he had a birthday not that long ago, and he was older than I thought he was. But then when you think about it, this is a guy that was coming on near the end of the Attitude Era when he came in as a tag team, teaming up with Road Dogg Jesse James. So this guy's been around for a long time. Of course, this time in TNA with the NWA Championship and going after Jeff Jarrett and everything that went along from there. But second round action is going to see Bad News Barrett going up against R-Truth. Honestly, in my mind, I think that this match should have as much action as the R-Truth versus Stardust match, just in the opposite fashion. I think that Bad News Barrett easily is the odds-on favorite to win the tournament right now. I think that everyone's looking to see him getting there. I know that the tournament, honestly, it was sprung on us with almost no time to know what was going on. They announced when the finals are going to be. Before the fact, they've announced when the actual tournament is going to be going down. There's no real clear-cut what you win once you win there. I don't know if whoever becomes the King of the Ring is just going to be able to wear a crown. It's almost like this is just watch the WWE Network, and they planned out everything that's going to be going down. Almost every night this week has something going on. Monday night is going to be the Jerry Springer Show debuting. Tuesday has the King of the Ring. Wednesday is Mick Foley night. Thursday has the Talk is Jericho. And then Friday has the Mayweather versus Big Show special. So we'll see what tomorrow is going to come. Hopefully it's a little bit more than a glorified main event taping. But, we're going to be getting 3 matches. And the first one is going to be Bad News Barrett going up against R-Truth. In my mind, Barrett's got the win already. Alright, great stuff in the first round of the WWE Monday Night Raw King of the Ring tournament, leading to the Tuesday edition of the King of the Ring, which is going to be a WWE Network exclusive. In the second round, we are seeing the Ultimate Underdog Neville going up against Sheamus. These two guys have a little bit of a history. Sheamus came out and attacked Neville on an edition of Monday Night Raw, which led to Neville challenging Sheamus to a SmackDown match. At this point, Neville went in there against Sheamus and he was able to hold his own. This match ended up being one of the weakest disqualification finishes of all time, with basically Sheamus getting a little bit upset that he couldn't beat Neville inside of the ring. Neville at one point looked like he was going to hit the red arrow, had to rebalance himself on top of the top rope at that point. Sheamus was able to reach up, grab the ropes, which nutshotted Neville down into the ring, and then the fight spilled to the outside. And when Sheamus picked up Neville and sort of slammed him down on the announce table, that was the cause for disqualification. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that move happens every edition of Monday Night Raw, but damn near we see somebody take the action on top of the announce table, and it's almost like, when you're playing, youth sports, when you're playing out, like if you're playing Little League, or not Little League, if you're playing, street ball on your street, and you hit the ball and it hits the mailbox, and the ball makes a ricochet and it goes off into foul territory, the ball's still in play because you have to use what's in your surroundings, and the announce table is out there at ringside. And if you get thrown into it, it's almost like when you get thrown into the ring steps outside of the ring. You can't pick the ring steps up and hit somebody with them, but I mean, if you Irish whip somebody outside of the ropes and they land into the ring steps, it's never been a disqualification. So that was just a weak way out of a SmackDown match that I don't think that they thought anybody cared about and nobody would bring up again. But that is going to be your semifinals match leading yourselves into the finals. I would not be surprised. We all know that Sheamus caused the outside interference, which led to Bad News Barrett beating Dolph Ziggler. When I looked at this tournament bracket, I honestly thought that this was going to be a way of getting a rematch of Sheamus versus Ziggler sooner than later. With the heat that it drew, with the Kiss My Ass match at Extreme Rules, I thought that's where they were going, and it's not where they were going, so I would not be surprised. We saw that Ziggler and his disqualification is what helped Sheamus beat Dean Ambrose in their match of the first round, so I would not be surprised if Ziggler pops up and it plays a smarter role in this match. We've seen that Ziggler stood up for Neville during that SmackDown match that we were talking about earlier, so we do know that they have some sort of a connection. And it was Ziggler teaming up with Neville, going up against, I believe it was Luke Harper and Sheamus on the next week edition of SmackDown. So I would not be surprised if that leads Neville to get the win over Sheamus, with that promoting him into the main event of the King of the Ring finals, where he would go up against Bad News Barrett. That's honestly my thought, what's going to go down in this match. All right, according to my predictions, I have Bad News Barrett beating R-Truth, and then I also have Neville beating Sheamus in the King of the Ring finals, leading up to a match of Neville going up against Bad News Barrett. Of course, this was the match that happened just, I guess you could say, last night, or if you're watching this tomorrow, just on Sunday, on the Extreme Rules 2015 pre-show. They had to fill in for the fact if Daniel Bryan was injured. They did not strip him, so this was not an Intercontinental Championship match, but Barrett was there. Barrett had his gear. Barrett was ready to wrestle. I guess the story was that Daniel Bryan wasn't even flown in for the show. They knew it was going to be this bad, but they held off until making an announcement until 15 minutes before showtime, I guess you could say, of saying, tune in to Extreme Rules and we'll update you on the health and well-being of Daniel Bryan. Never made a mention to it. Tonight on Monday Night Raw, I think they tried to tip their hat to that with an interview of Brie Bella. Brie Bella was trying to give an update on what she thought was going down with Daniel Bryan before she was attacked by Naomi. So I think this will be an ongoing storyline with WWE of, what is wrong with Daniel Bryan? Where is he? When is he going to return? Will they be able to have the fireworks of a return that he had around Royal Rumble time? Maybe they will be able to restart Daniel Bryan's comeback when he comes back from this injury, if it's not, career life-threatening or whatever happens. Sometimes, guys get messed up in the head with concussions and they're never able to come back, and definitely with neck problems, it's the same thing, all good thoughts for Daniel Bryan from here on out. But Bad News Barrett lost that match. Neville got a good feather in his hat that he's going to be able to wave around, getting a win in his pay-per-view debut. Even though it really wasn't on pay-per-view, it was only on the Extreme Rules pre-show. But most people I know tune in. They make sure that they get there around the 30-minute mark before the show to know that they're going to be able to see a wrestling match and be able to get into gear. Maybe they're not paying 100% attention to it. I don't really see a lot of people sitting down and watching the whole 1-hour pre-show with them talking about the matches that they've been hyping up already for about a month. They just haven't really fine-tuned that pre-show to figure out what's going on. But in that match, Neville got a good win over Barrett, and it's been a good start to his career. But I do not think that he is going to become the King of the Ring. Honestly, in my mind, I can see Bad News Barrett wearing a crown. I don't think that they'll go full-on effect of like Sheamus with making a crown out of horns. I think that the Bad News Barrett gimmick already is a pretty good gimmick for Barrett. I don't think that we're going to be going and calling him King Barrett or Wade the King Barrett or anything like that. To me, honestly, when I think of the Kings in wrestling, I think of, King Harley Race. I think of Macho King Randy Savage. I think of the Kings of Wrestling from Ring of Honor, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. Those are the the Kings that I think of. But Barrett, with a crown on his head, honestly, he is a little bit of a joke right now. You can think of the building to him being champion going into WrestleMania 31 in the ladder match. Every week, him thinking he was going to find a way to get his belt back and be able to claim that he is the champion. And every week, on every show, no matter if it was Raw or SmackDown, somebody walked out with the belt, he would try and get it back, and somebody else would run away with it. So it just was this cat and mouse, almost like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner from the Looney Tunes thing back in the day. But I think that Barrett's going to get the bull hammer on Neville. I think that Neville being the underdog, he's already going to get a big win on the show by beating Sheamus. I think that by putting up a good fight in the finals, I think that's going to be a good thing to put him over, and it's going to be able to get a lot more eyes on Neville and say that next time he's in the big match, he's going to get the win in that one. Lots of hope for all those NXT guys coming up, and I think that all of them will be rooting on Neville. With Tommy and Breeze, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens. I'm trying to make sure I get all of their names right as I go along, and I think I'm doing a pretty damn good job. Normally I screw one of them up along the way, but tomorrow night, Tuesday night, King of the Ring 2015 on the WWE Network. Don't forget about it. I'm definitely going to be staying off the Twitter machine because I want to watch this show, and I got to work late tomorrow, so I don't want to miss any of it, and I don't want to get spoiled as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow when we wrap up the King of the Ring.